questions about the female characters in the film. Alfred, Peter, Sarah, would you like to comment?
With Mistress Shaw, we know that she existed, women like her existed. The challenge was, and Steve laid the bed for it and prepped it all and kept a close eye and hand on it. We had to create a world that we could believe was still going on when we were away from the world of the Epps plantation, and that it gives us another in into Patsy. And I think Mrs. Epps could not, Mistress Shaw, she couldn't associate with the other plantation mistresses. She couldn't go into the field, and she loved that. And so there's some nobility in Patsy that she recognizes, although Patsy is in that field picking 500 pounds of cotton a day. She recognizes that in her, and she's company for her. And so it's a world that she desperately needs. She's got other black people waiting on her and scraping, and she calls him Nigger Epps as soon as he walks up. But she recognizes a kindred person and starts the process of helping Patsy to understand how to use her power in that world. And the fact that Solomon is learned. Mistress Shaw is not, but she knows somebody when she sees it, and so that's another way of her getting close to his gentility and sophistication. So she creates her own party. These are the only two people that she could possibly have a social life with outside of her husband.
For me, Patsy was such an incredible woman in the script, and I was so excited about getting the opportunity to bring her back to life. I mean, she's described as being agile, genial, pleasant-tempered, and the hardest worker of the field. But at the same time, she wishes for her death. And that kind of complexity is something that one can only dream of playing. And to know that she was a real woman that tread this earth just made it even more humbling and more inspiring to do. And for me, the thing that I loved most about Patsy is that she experienced so much pain, but she was always working through it, not wallowing in it. And that kind of strength is so inspiring, and I wanted to play her with agency and dignity, because these... I'll start there. Thank you.
Sarah, if you could add your own thoughts as well.
Well, I play Mistress Epps, and although she behaves deplorably, obviously, I had to find a way into playing her in a way that I could sit with and understand, and the way to do that was to realize that she was behaving out of fear. And it's not to justify her behavior, but just to sort of acknowledge that this is a woman who was being usurped by someone and in front of everyone and was deeply embarrassed, and her way of fighting back was to behave in a indefensible kind of way. That was her way of dealing with it. And again, I'm not trying to justify her behavior, but as an actor, when you're doing it, it's not my job to judge her or to decide the right and wrong of it, but to commit, because the story that I'm part of telling is the story of Solomon and Patsy and all of those men and women and children, and it wasn't for me to get in the way of it, to try to make it softer or more palatable or to go down more easily. That would have been a big disservice to the story, and the only way to do it was to lean in and throw myself into it without apology, and so.